As Donald Trump's campaign continues to collapse, Fox News is really going through some things as they struggle to cope with the new reality in which they find themselves. Fox is ramping up their propaganda. You could sort of see the panic behind the scenes there as they struggle to present this alternate reality to their viewers. It's important that we see the propaganda that Fox is pumping out so that we understand when we hear it what is going on, where it's coming from, so that we could fight back with the truth. First, I want to show you this from Larry Kudlow over at Fox Business. Fox Business is supposed to be like the straight business news channel of Fox. Of course, it's not. It's just another propaganda network. Larry Kudlow, who used to work for the Trump administration, is forced to announce a third straight record close for the stock market, and this is how he covers it. Note how he immediately pivots to bashing Vice President Kamala Harris.
Raining, here we go. The third straight record close for the blue chips. The S&P 500 also closing at all-time highs. Tomorrow, the financials did really well. As we were watching over the past several months, we've got former TD Ameritrade CEO Joe Mowgli at a game, how they will do in dropping rates. That'll do it for us. Kudlow's next.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. All right, Kamala Harris's tax hikes would kill 800,000 jobs. Donald Trump's tax cuts would create over 1 million jobs. And Senator Mike Crapo, he says most of the Trump tax cuts won't increase the deficit at all.
Then also on Fox Business, we have Maria Bartiromo and Claudia Tenney acting like Trump actually has a shot of winning New York in November. Watch.
Congresswoman, while he was in New York last week, President Trump said that he does believe that deep blue New York could be in play in November because of the increasing concerns by residents over the illegal migrant crisis. I mean, people are getting mugged, attacked. Insiders on both sides of the aisle are also telling Fox News Digital that there's a shift of Long Island's Nassau and Suffolk counties as well. There's a shift to the right, and that could be a promising for Trump on Election Day. Both went solidly red back in 2022 for the midterms, even though state voter rolls show Democrats outnumber Republicans in both counties. So I ask you, Congresswoman, do you think Trump has a chance of winning New York?
Well, look, there's 5 weeks or so left. I think if Trump continues to stay on message and talk about what's actually going on with the border, and especially the northern border, which I've been sounding the alarm on for almost 2 years now.
I mean, you don't see Democrats going out and going, we're going to win Wyoming, right? That's not something that happens because at least Democrats, for the most part, live in some semblance of reality when Fox absolutely does not. Here, Maria Bartiromo had on James Comer, who, after his failure to impeach President Biden, is struggling to try to gin up things on Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz. Here, James Comer tries to start a conspiracy theory that Kamala Harris is not an actual gun owner, and if she is, she has to tell people exactly what type of gun she has. So I guess Republicans support a gun registry, but only if it's for Vice President Harris. Watch.
Well, look, I don't think anyone believes that Kamala Harris is a gun owner, but if she is, she needs to tell the American people what type of gun she has. Look, this is all about crime. And when you look at the polling, Biden and Harris are getting killed in the polling with the issue of crime, which is a huge issue in the suburbs, and it's definitely an issue in urban America. So just like Kamala Harris has flipped on the issue of wanting to have a southern border wall now, when she used to say it was racist, now she's trying to imply that she's scared like everyone else, so she has a gun to protect her family. I mean, this...
And the desperation was palpable on Fox all day. Here is Lindsey Graham complaining that the Kamala Harris campaign is trying to make people believe that Donald Trump is somehow involved with Mark Robinson, although he can't even say the name Mark Robinson, the guy who Trump handpicked to be the candidate for governor in North Carolina. Watch.
Well, he is actually her preacher. But the point is that when somebody says something and I have a relationship with them, I don't own all of that. The reason we're not running these ads is that there would be a firestorm that is unfair. It would be unfair to say that somebody you wrote a letter about, or even your own pastor, you own every stupid thing they did. We'd be crucified politically if we did that. That's literally their campaign in North Carolina, is trying to make people believe that Donald Trump somehow is involved with the Robinson guy. Donald Trump knew nothing about this. I knew nothing about it. They're trying to guilt by association. If you're a Republican, you own Mark Robinson.
And so here is the ad that the Kamala Harris campaign released. They are airing this across North Carolina, and it shows Donald Trump repeatedly praising Mark Robinson, who was recently revealed to have called himself a black Nazi. He said that he wanted to bring back slavery, and it got weirder and worse from there. Here's the ad from the Kamala Harris campaign.
And he's been an unbelievable Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robinson.
For me, there's no compromise on abortion.
I think you're better than Martin Luther King.
We could pass a bill saying you can't have an abortion in North Carolina for any reason.
The abortion in this country, it's about killing a child because you aren't responsible enough to keep your skirt down.
I've been with him a lot. I've gotten to know him, and he's outstanding.
Donald Trump and Mark Robinson. They're both wrong for North Carolina.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
And that ad in particular set Lindsey Graham off. Lindsey Graham, speaking about the ads like that, linking Trump to Mark Robinson, said that this is a hit job. He was so upset. How dare you hold Trump accountable for the Republican candidates he endorsed and help them get the nomination? It's so pathetic. Watch.
This is really a hit job. It is unconscionable. And if we did this to them, it would be blowing up the entire mainstream media.
Then you got low-rent Tucker Carlson, who is Jesse Waters on Fox, and he's saying that real men don't think that Tim Walz is a real guy.
You mean like how she goes into 7-Eleven and clears the place out and then tries to find Doritos? Listen, no one thinks he's a man. Everybody knows real men don't put tampons in little boys' locker rooms, Jessica.
There was not one tampon in
Everybody knows that. Real men don't think Tim Walz is a real guy, okay? We want him to...
This whole concept of masculinity has been something that Jesse Waters obsesses over every single day. There's something kind of pathological happening there, but thankfully Fox has Jessica Tarlov, the one pro-democracy co-host on this show, The Five, and she was saying, hey, if Tim Walz is as terrible and embarrassing as you guys think he is, why is he at a +7 favorability rating and JD Vance and Trump are at -13? Watch.
And now the child tax credit,
The child tax credit?
Yeah. President Trump started it, and then she upped it. She upped it, and the camo hats and the tax on tips, and now crypto.
So, A, that's not true.
Okay.
B, child poverty was cut in half when the Biden-Harris administration implemented the child tax credit, and the Republicans got rid of it. If Tim Walz is as terrible and embarrassing as you guys think he is, why does he have a +7 favorability and JD Vance and Trump both have a -13? And Kamala's at +3. What's going on? What's going on with this loser with the clean air filter, right? That people seem to like.
Capital L.
Yeah, that was a truth bomb for the Fox audience that they would not have otherwise heard. Anyway, let's check in with Donald Trump and see his version of masculinity.
And they're proud, they're clapping, they're going crazy. I can't do it, Mom, I can't. Boom.
Yeah, that was some weird stuff. I'm almost sorry for playing that for you, but hey, you got to see what's going on, right? This next clip is from Decoding Fox News. She does an incredible job at clipping Fox News, some of the craziest moments on the network. In this clip that she posted, Emily Campagno, who is an employee at Fox News, asks directly to Trump, so what's our plan to harvest those evangelical votes for you in November? It's like they're not even trying to pretend that it's not a propaganda network anymore. Take a look.
So, Mr. President, my question is about voting bloc strategy. And it's that we know there are 90 million evangelicals in this country, 40 million of whom don't vote, and 15 million of whom aren't even registered to vote. So what's our plan to harness those votes for you in November?
And Fox and this MAGA ecosystem of all these just weird influencers on the internet, all they have right now are lies. They manipulate footage of Kamala Harris. They spread disinformation. They make up fake headlines that go viral. Here's an example that we spotted, and this was posted by Libs of TikTok, who you may know. It's a horrific account on the internet. And what they did is they took a clip of Kamala Harris, they slowed it down to 80% speed to try to make her sound and look intoxicated, and they wrote the caption, "She's hammered." And then they posted that, and the clip went viral, and this spread through the MAGA ecosystem. ecosystem. What we did here is we took the clip that they made, then we took the original clip at the original speed, and then we combined them together to show you exactly how they manipulated this clip to lie to their audience. Watch.
Trump and his running mate, and they'll talk about, oh, well, yeah, but I do believe in the exception to save the mother's life. Okay, all right, let's break that down, shall we? Let's break that down. Let's break that down. Action, Trump and his running mate, and they'll talk about, oh, well, yeah, but I do believe in the exception to save the mother's life. Okay, all right, let's break that down, shall we? Let's break that down. Let's break that down. So we're saying that we're going to create public policy. Trump and his running mate, and they'll talk about, oh, yeah, but I do believe in the exception. I do believe in to save the mother's life. To save the mother's life. All right, let's break that down, shall we? All right, let's break that down, shall we? Let's break that down. Let's break that down. So let's break that down. We're saying that we're going to create public policy, that says that a doctor, a healthcare provider, will only kick in to give the care that somebody needs if they're about to die. Think about what we are saying right now. You're saying that good policy, logical policy, moral policy, humane policy is about saying that a healthcare provider will only start providing that care when you're about to die?
Is there a law against...
No, I'm not asking a law. I'm just asking your...
These people are all such frauds and liars. It's honestly such a disgrace. But let me do a quick cleanse for you. How about that? Quick cleanse. We got Senator Reverend Warnock on MSNBC speaking about Trump's refusal to debate because he knows he lost the last one. Check this out.
Senator, before I let you go, Kamala Harris says she has accepted an invitation to debate in October, and Donald Trump says it's too late and that voters are already voting, which they're already voting now, by the way. But what do you make of his refusal to accept that debate opportunity?
He lost. He lost and he knows it. And he's afraid of being humiliated again because we saw what Donald Trump represents. I mean, you watch that debate. And all of the bigotry that he engaged in, this awful assault on the Haitian community in a small town in Ohio. The people of America, the people of Georgia, want somebody who's focused on them. Donald Trump is for himself, and we ought to leave him to himself to focus on himself while we focus on the American people.
Trump is still running scared of the idea of debating Kamala Harris for the second time, and this is how scared he is at this point. Corey Lewandowski, who works with Donald Trump's campaign, said he would refuse to commit to Trump debating Harris again. Get this, even if the debate happened on Fox or Newsmax. Watch.
You're going to get a chance to vet that. The president will on this September 10th debate. There's been a lot of back and forth about whether or not the rules are settled. Let's talk about this. The vice president posted on X this. Donald Trump is surrendering to his advisors who won't allow him to debate with a live microphone. If his own team doesn't have confidence in him, the American people definitely can't. We are running for president of the United States. Let's debate in a transparent way with the microphones on the whole time. Has the microphone thing been settled? Will it be settled? Is everybody showing up on September 10th?
We'll be there. I can't speak if Kamala Harris is going to be there, but we'll be there. And remember this, Shannon, when we originally set the parameters of the debates for, at the time, President Biden, Kamala Harris's team was also part of that because we set the same parameters for the vice presidential debate. And what those parameters were you would stand at a podium or a lectern, you would have no notes available to you, and the microphones would be off. Well, after she has been coronated to be the presidential nominee for the Democrats, what she's done is come back and said, I don't like that criteria anymore. I want to be seated so I can be the same height as Donald Trump.
Okay,
I'd like to bring notes to the table.
that.
Oh, and by the way, Well, I understand, but we've been part of the negotiation back and forth for many, many days here, and I don't know why, once again, Kamala Harris and her team are changing what their positions have been, just like she's done on the border, just like she's done on no tax on tips. She's now trying to change the rules of the debate. We've agreed to the rules of the debate. We are looking forward to being there on September 10th. The microphones will be off. People will be standing at a lectern, and there'll be no notes.
Okay.
Folks, this is just deranged stuff. These are utter lies. This is propaganda, and we need to be calling it out every step of the way because there are far too many Americans out there who are influenced by this stuff, who view it as true. So one of the things I want to do here is be able to give you the tools to know that when somebody parrots one of these things that we showed you, you know exactly where it's coming from, and you know how to respond, and you are armed with the facts. We should never accept this as normal. Thank you so much for watching this video. There's certainly more to come, and to make sure that you're up on all of our updates, hit the subscribe button. If you've already hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It's right next to the subscribe button after you subscribe. That alerts you every time we post a new video just like this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in a bit.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.